And showtime! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the latest episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. A look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I am executive editor of the ChannelPro Network and one of your hosts on this program. The other host is a business improvement and training consultant for MSPs and other IT providers named Eric Simpson, who just very recently has spread his wings and flown the coop and gone solo. Eric, what are you up to these days?
Well, Rich, I'm here in New York today, doing a strategic consulting meeting for one of my clients. And you're right, I have launched a new consultancy at ericksimpson.com, where I'm doing great work working with clients that are looking to improve and transform their businesses. And I'm focusing on my MSP mastered methodology for business transformation and helping them get the most out of their operations, marketing, sales, and service delivery business units, grow top line revenue and improve bottom line profitability, and work with people and just help them get the most out of their business goals.
All right. So very exciting time. I'm sure a very busy time as well, getting that new business off the ground and still traveling and supporting clients as well out there in New York. Let's dive into the news here then. So I earlier this week was at the Ingram Micro 1 conference in Washington, D.C. Tons of news and announcements came out of that event. I could have picked a number of different ways to go or things to highlight, but the one that I decided to focus on ties into something that we have discussed before on the 5-Minute Roundup, Eric, and that that is market development funds, MDF. So one of the things Ingram announced this week is a new digital marketing program they call Partner Connect. And it was inspired by two kinds of input. On the one hand, their resellers were coming to them and saying that we understand in this day and age, we need to have a digital presence and a digital brand. We don't really know how to do that. Can you help us? On the other hand, vendors were coming to Ingram and saying, we've got these big pools of MDF out there that we're investing with our partners, and it can be a little difficult to track the ROI on that. We don't really know what kind of results we get. And a lot of times our reseller partners struggle a little bit with putting that money to good work. They don't know what to do with it or how to execute those programs. And so what Ingram came up with in this Partner Connect program is something that is designed to address both issues. Essentially, a vendor takes some of their MDF dollars. They decide that we're going to invest that with a particular partner. They bring that money to Ingram instead of giving it directly to the partner. And Ingram constructs this entire end-to-end pay-per-click online marketing campaign for the partner. They create the collateral, they create the landing page, they create the pay-per-click ads to drive demand and downloads, and then the partner can follow up with the leads. So the vendors are happy. They can actually track all of this. They get very specific metrics from Ingram in terms of click rates and downloads and sales, et cetera. The resellers are happy too because they're getting this professional assistance establishing their digital brand and digital presence. And it strikes me as a very interesting program that might enable some of the vendors out there to get more partners to take advantage of the MDF that's available to them.
Yeah, Rich, it's a really a kind of a cutting edge strategy, because partners are always looking for that next great marketing consulting experience, and they're having to go through different vendors to try to figure out how to put together the right message, the right digital presence, and in most cases the fees for these services come right out of their pockets. On the other hand, we've got this pool of tons of MDF money that sits there and goes unspent from vendors because partners really don't understand how to access it, how to request it, and how to prove performance in order to continue to earn it over time. So I think Ingram's done a very crafty strategy here to try to connect those MDF dollars that are going unspent, put together these programs and delivering these valuable services to their partners, who then in turn purchase Ingram products and services to fulfill all the new sales. So it's a really cool little ecosystem that they're creating now, so that partners can get access to these MDF funds, and they can get access to professionally developed marketing strategies and programs, collateral and campaigns, and pay-per-click strategies executed by Ingram. What a great idea.
Yeah, it's a really interesting I have not come across anything quite like it. And, I should say there are actually two ways that one of these marketing engagements gets kicked off. And most of the time, their expectation is this will start with a vendor. And a vendor will come to them and say, we have a partner in thus a such city named whatever, and we want to sponsor one of these programs with them. And if you're an Ingram reseller and you're interested in taking advantage of the program, you can go to your vendor partners and say, hey, let's take advantage of this. But if there is no vendor sponsorship for you as a reseller, you can also just go straight to your rep at Ingram and take advantage of this program individually. You'll have to pay for it in that case. It won't, be funded out of MDF dollars from a vendor. But if just the idea, to your point, it can be difficult for a VAR to figure out how to establish a digital brand. If you want to take advantage of a program that comes with collateral and the landing page and the ads and so on, you can bring your dollars to Ingram, and they will run you through that same process.
Right.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your tip of the week, which has to do with customer appreciation, I believe.
Absolutely. So, everybody gets caught up in trying to add value to customer relationships by delivering great products and services and trying to build those customer relationships and being measured by our performance and how well we manage these client relationships together. Toward the end of the year, we start thinking about, other ways to show our appreciation to clients beyond simply just doing the best work that we can do. And so, this strategy involves budgeting and carefully analyzing your client relationships in order to thank them with gifts at the end of the year, with different types of things. So if you know your clients very, very well, segment them out into, who your best clients are, maybe 3 different tiers, who the middle clients are, and who the bottom tier of your clients are, and think about things that are meaningful to them that reflect your appreciation for them giving you all this great business every year. And, I've got some clients that I work with that make it a point to hand deliver, or have their staff or teams, whoever has a relationship, hand deliver, gift baskets and liquor for those clients that, like that kind of stuff, and cigars and whatever it is, all the way down to, smaller promotional items, like the gaming mouse pads, the big ones that take over your entire desk that have logos on them, and things of that nature, USB chargers, and all these things that we always look for when we're looking for swag at events. But hey, these clients can use that stuff too. And if you can brand it somehow, if it's something that sits on their desk that you want to reflect your image all the time, maybe that's something for the lower tier clients. But the point here is, give back to clients, in the spirit of giving, and appreciate them in ways that fall outside of a typical business relationship. And I find that partners that do that more often and show that kind of appreciation. I mean, even, taking clients out to lunches or dinners or sports events and golfing and things like that, tend to have longer, stickier relationships and tend to generate as well from their clients.
It's interesting listening to this. At an earlier point in my career, I worked for one of the big tech vendors in marketing. And around the holiday season every year, a lot of the agencies that I contracted with would send some sort of a gift or another. And I never resented the agencies that didn't do that, or the vendors working for me who didn't do that. I didn't really pay attention to that or notice it that way, but I did notice the ones who did send something. And especially if it was something that was thoughtful. I mean, it makes an impression. And, from my perspective, it really did feel like an expression of gratitude. And it was a nice thing to see.
Yeah, it certainly does a lot to keep you top of mind, and gets the client to maybe pick up the phone a little bit more, maybe respond to emails a little bit more, maybe take more meetings. You never can. It's not a science; it's more of an art, right? To try to determine the ROI of these types of things. But hey, be a giver. Be a giver. Why not?
I totally agree. And what you don't want to be is a thief. So we've got time for one more story here that involves an act of thievery involving something that can be described in 3 words, either 3 words, part of the English language. I'm not sure they've ever been uttered in this exact sequence before until very recently. Those words are stolen inflatable colon. Now, it seems that the Colon Cancer Coalition in Brookside, Missouri had a 10-foot wide, 10-foot tall, 150-pound colon, inflatable colon, that it used at events. They would go out to festivals and fairs and raise awareness about colon cancer and the benefits of getting examined for that. Very important topic, actually. And somebody, for some reason or other, and it really is hard to figure out what reason would make sense, stole the giant inflatable colon. Now there's good news at the end of this story. So first of all, the Colon Cancer Coalition went online to raise money to replace it. They actually got more money than they expected to. $11,000 came in from donors, and they were happy to announce that they were able to buy 2, not 1, but 2 replacements. And better yet, the police department has actually found the now 3rd inflatable colon and recovered it, returned it to the Cancer Institute. So all's well that ends well, Eric.
Rich, I really have nothing for that. I can just imagine, though, working the booth, at the show with the giant colons, kind of bookending your booth. It's got to be hilarious.
Did somebody think they were going to be able to pawn that? Why do you steal the 10-foot inflatable colon? It's another one of life's mysteries. Well, we will leave you to ponder that now. That's as much time as we have this week on the 5-Minute Roundup. Thank you very much for joining us. If you like the show, you'd like to see future episodes, take a look at some of the ones we've done in the past. What you want to go to is the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube. You'll get all that information there. We'll keep you up to speed on what's coming in the future. You want to read more about the news out of the Ingram Micro 1 conference and all sorts of other great stuff about what's happening in the industry and how to grow your business. Go to ChannelProNetwork.com on a daily basis. We've got great new material for you there every day. You want to learn about Eric Simpson's exciting new venture. Where you go is www.ericksimpson.com. That's Eric with a CK at the end, ERICK Simpson.com, and you will get the complete lowdown on what he is up to now. So again, thank you very much for joining us on the 5-Minute Roundup. We'll be back next week, live and in person, by the way. The 2 of us are going to be at the ConnectWise IT Nation event, and we're going to figure out some way to sit down together and record an episode there live for you. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Eric and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.